With me now is Congressman Adam Smith, the ranking member on the House Armed Services Committee. Great to see you here in person.
Good to be here.
What, in your mind, is over the top when it comes to Israel's conduct?
The biggest problem, first of all, I didn't say that. The president said that. But I think
Do you disagree with it?
The biggest problem is, what is the future for the Palestinian people? The need to destroy Hamas, I understand, or significantly degrade Hamas, no doubt about it. But there has to be a future for the Palestinian people in Gaza, in the West Bank. This is a future that the Netanyahu government has not articulated, even as they continue to press forward with the military campaign. So I wouldn't say that it has been over the top. They're trying to deal with a very, very violent enemy that wants to destroy them. But their lack of a plan for helping the Palestinian civilians going forward has undermined their ability to succeed in their mission.
You don't think it's working?
I would say it has undermined their ability to ultimately succeed in having a safe and secure Israel. Because if there's no future for the Palestinian people, that empowers Hamas or Islamic Jihad or other extremist organizations. And also it undermines the ability to cut a very necessary peace agreement with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is ready to go, but they've said you have to start the Palestinian people down the path to some kind of future. So that needs to be worked on at the same time that you're working on the military side of it.
Let me move a little bit on the map to Ukraine. What direction do you think Vladimir Putin's war on Ukraine is going?
Well, right now, Vladimir Putin is going to try to take as much of Ukraine as he possibly can. If it gets to the point where he can't go forward and stops, then I think a negotiation is possible. But right now, he thinks he's winning. And he is not going to stop at where he's at in Ukraine. That's the great fear, which is why it's so important to get aid to Ukraine now so that they can stop Putin and Russia from moving forward from where they're at in Ukraine and force that negotiation.
He thinks he's winning. Do you think he's winning?
No, not long term. It's significantly undermined Russia's military capability and their standing in the world, and at the moment he's stalled. He's stalled in eastern Ukraine and along the southern border. But the key part of this is maintaining a sovereign, democratic Ukraine. The current situation's not great. Look, Ukraine as a country should exist where it was in 1991. The moment that's not possible, so at a minimum, we need to maintain a sovereign democratic Ukraine. We will not be able to do that if there isn't further military support for Ukraine.
You are a high-ranking elected Democrat.
You say that in a way that is ominous, if I may say so.
You may think it is in a second when I ask the question, because you're not living in a vacuum to what's happened in the last day with the Special Counsel report on President Biden, which talks about his age and his memory. So I want to know how you feel when you hear President Biden last night call President el-Sisi of Egypt the president of Mexico.
Well, two things about that. One, I have worked with the president. I've sat in meetings with him. I've spoken to him on the phone. We have talked about incredibly complicated, important subjects, the ones that we just discussed here. And at no time did I think that he wasn't completely on top of that very complicated situation that we talked about. What's happening with Israel and Gaza? What's happening between Russia and Ukraine? How do we deal with the southern border? There's been no moment when I'm like, I don't think he knows what's going on. Now, does he occasionally say the wrong word? Certainly. So I was thinking on the way over here, once during an interview with Neil Cavuto, I called him Steve. I have no idea why I did that. I know what his name is. So that doesn't worry me as much as whether or not he knows what's going on in the world. And right now, I'm quite confident that he does based on the interactions that I've had with him.
Right now, are you confident when you look around the country that President Biden is the best Democratic candidate to defeat Donald Trump?
Look, I'm not going to kid you on one point. It is a challenge that he is as old as he is. It is, without question. He is fully capable of doing the job. He's doing it well. He does not have the normal strength to go out there and campaign, to do rally after rally and conversation after conversation. And that's going to be difficult on the campaign trail. But as I've said before, President Biden may not be the best campaigner in the world. He's doing a good job as president. I'd rather have someone who's good at the job and not great at the campaigning than the other way around. But it's going to be a challenge to go out there and win that campaign.
Because he is so old?
I don't know if it's that or it's just the way he communicates or the way his campaign goes. But clearly, yesterday's press conference, as you said, I'm a senior Democratic politician. I've been doing this for a long time. That's not the way you want to do it. Okay, I think we can all agree on that. He was angry. He was frustrated by what came out. There was not a prepared, clear agenda of, okay, here's my explanation, here's what I'm doing, and it didn't go well. Okay, there's no doubt about that. That needs to get better. But again, the most important thing is Is he on top of the economy? I mean, look at how we have managed to. Everyone said we were going to be in a recession. We're not. Now, there are still affordability crises. We got to make housing more affordable. We got to make food more affordable. But he has negotiated a very difficult situation coming out of the pandemic, dealing with a series of international crises in a way that has been very coherent and has moved the policy forward. There's no doubt in my mind right now that he's capable of doing the job. Messaging, very complicated. If you've never run for office, all right, I like to think of myself as a reasonably articulate person, all right, and I've done this a long time. I've been in press conferences. I've been in town hall meetings where I went, I shouldn't have said that. And then you try to fix it, and then you make it worse. Okay, it is not as easy as it looks.
Congressman Adam Smith, we are thrilled to have you here in person. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for giving me the chance.
Sarah?